What's up, my doers and duets, and welcome to another episode of SportsCy. In today's episode, we're continuing on with the Taking Flight series as I try to improve my vertical jump. And today we're going to be working on the strength training day 1 that's going to be in the program that I'm putting in the description below. Follow along. Catch y'all in a second. Alright, so now we're back inside the gym. It's time for me to actually do strength day 1 of the program today. So before I even start, because this is heavy strength training, I gotta make sure that I'm loose so my mobility is up. So I always do an active dynamic warm-up. So when I do an active dynamic warm-up, it involves just a little light jog, jogging backwards, things like stretching the hamstrings by doing heel to toe raises, and then also I do toe raises and ankle raises, which allows me to also work on ankle mobility, so everything is a little bit looser and I'm able to transfer more power into my workouts. And so after I do that, what I also like to use is I like to do some myofascial release. This is just basically a fancy way of saying using the foam roll. So what it does is just like loosens out any sore muscles, and especially my quads is where a lot of my tension tends to be, especially if I'm doing leg exercises. After I'm done doing my AD warm-up, doing my entire self myofascial release, the next thing that I gotta go to is I gotta work my tail off. Literally, I gotta work my behind, working out legs. Done with my legs, done with the workout, and explain it a little bit more. So it is the first week I'm getting back to doing strength training specifically for legs. So if you're noticing the exercises, all the exercises that I did, it was all for the posterior chain. But what oftentimes is a mistake lately that I've been noticing is a lot of people, and I've done this myself, is that we focus too much on posterior chain. And if we focus too much on posterior chain, then the opposite, anterior chain, which is like your quads, your abs, you're gonna have imbalances which can lead to injuries and reduce performance, because I want to jump as high as possible. So to continue that motion to stay up, what it actually requires is your strong quads. So it's almost like an a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier. You know, when it's like when it's actually, you know, taking off, the takeoff is the hamstrings, but to be able to actually maintain that altitude and that speed that it's going through, then it has to have the powerful jets, and that's where the quads end up coming into it. In today's exercises, I did not do the most difficult stuff. The reason why I did not do the most difficult stuff is that we're starting a program where I'm going to be doing 2 months of strength training. It's very important for me to make sure that I don't burn myself out right at the beginning. So doing about 70 to 75% of your capability is what I would suggest in this first week. About 1 or 2 weeks where you're at 70% of your capacity, and then you can actually start moving on and challenging yourself. So far I can say it's fine. I didn't do any squats except for just split squats, and when it came to my other things, because I said like that 70% rule where we're not trying to go too hard because we might just be hurting ourselves at the beginning. We want to be more consistent and gradually improve doing progressive overload. Now that that's done, I can actually talk about the next video. What I actually plan to do is also talk about another area in vertical jumping that I did not focus on in the previous season. I did not focus on my upper body. Granted, I said in a video that I want to work on my upper body for vanity reasons, but also for performance, because your upper body is also what's going to allow allow you to hang in the air or get hang time. And so it's important for me to work on things like standing military press, incline bench press. So you're gonna see that along in the videos coming forward. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe because that's gonna be in later on episodes. I'm gonna be doing about 3 to 4 days a week, depending on what intensity I'm going through. Some of the weeks that I'll be going through during my program are actually deload weeks where I might not have as much volume, and some other weeks are actually more about intensification. So if you want to be able to follow along and understand what I'm talking about, just look at the description below. You can actually email me and I can send you the template so that you can follow along in your journey to try and improve your vertical jump. All right, so that does it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you were able to learn a few things that can help you in the long run. Again, I'm a personal trainer and I always like helping people, and what I want y'all to do is be winners. So if you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up on my email at shemafitness@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Twitter, where I'm much more responsive, very active, and I respond very promptly. So if you enjoyed this video and if you need help, you know where to reach me. Thanks again for checking